I'm working on the flutes for one of these columns that will be used in this nest of tables. One of these columns. I've already finished one of the columns here with holly flutes. There are 8 flutes in here. And then there's some holly also down here in the flat area. So this is the second piece that I'm working, and I've got the grooves made for the holly, and I've cut the holly and shaved it to a thickness that will go into the groove. And I'm going to use hot hide glue to put this in. You could use other kinds of glue, but I like the initial tack that I get with hot hide glue. It makes a little bit of a mess, but I can clean that up pretty easily and get all the glue off, as you can see here in this example. So the next thing, I've got the glue pot over here to my right, and I think the glue's a little bit thick, but I'm going to go ahead and paint this groove. And I use put quite a bit of glue in there. I found this little painting brush to work well for this. Artist brush, I guess I should have said. Okay, now getting this in there. Get it started. Okay, I use this stick to then press it down. It squeezes out some of the glue, gets it down in there. I press pretty hard on this. This is a 1/16 inch wide flute holly, and I cut it on the bandsaw, and then I shave it to fit. There's a little Lee Nielsen kind of scraper that I use to scrape that to thickness, and that's in there now. Now what I can do is remove some of this glue before it hardens. I'll go back to this one here that I did just a few minutes ago, and with a little 15 or 3/16, I guess this is a 5/16 chisel. That's already, some of that's already hardened here in just about 10 minutes. I end up using a block plane on this after it dries, and that flattens the the flutes down to flush with the surface of the column. Then I'll use a scraper blade to remove all traces of the glue. As I said, you could use like Titebond glue here and put it in with a little squeeze bottle with a nozzle, and perhaps then you don't have all this as much of a mess. But the thing about hide glue that I like, not only the initial tack that it gives me, but also it kind of fills the cracks a little bit, and it's not, it doesn't cause problems with the finishing process. In the white glue, if you don't get it all off, then in the finishing process it shows up and makes a mess of the finishing process. So white glue is a lot more forgiving in the finishing, and it also helps to fill any gaps that are in between that flute and its channel. That's about all the cleanup I need to do until it dries, and then I can take the block plane and flatten that. I have to use another kind of a plane to get to the ends where the block plane won't go. A bullnose or something like that. I don't remember what you call that plane with the blade out in front. And I can flatten these at the ends. And then I rely on this scraper blade a lot to clean this stuff up. Okay, so I just have one more flute to go here, and after they're flattened, then I carve them concave to make them a flute shape. Even though it's only a 1/16 inch wide, I do create a little flute shape in that width.